So, the war in Ukraine has pressed home to all of us the importance of technology on the battlefield and off the battlefield. So with that in mind, the Alliance of Democracies Foundation is once again promoting the development and scaling of democracy-oriented tech projects. Through its Democracy Tech Fellowship program, it has offered masterclasses and mentoring, and today it's offering awards. In partnership with the International Strategy Forum, Trifork, and the New Democracy Fund. 3 different awards are going to be handed out today. They are the Copenhagen Democracy Tech Award, the Super Election Year Award, and finally, the People's Award. So first, let me welcome our 3 expert judges to the stage. Jan Larsen, founder and CEO of Trifork. Nima Tisdal, who is CEO and partner of Nordic Makers, and Nick Cohen, director of the International Strategy Forum of the Special Competitive Studies Project. And now the real stars of the show, let me introduce our Tech Entrepreneur Fellows. Anton Tarasyuk from Ukraine. His project is Mantis Analytics. Dmitro Bilash from Ukraine, Oslo. Miriam Amokatsi from Georgia, Gender Barometer. George Godwa from Georgia, Slavnili. Anna Toklikishvili from Georgia, her project is called VINICI. And Ariadna, Dron from Moldova, Marmoris. Thank you all for being here today. So in this super election year, with roughly 2 billion people going to the polls, dis and misinformation is, of course, a major concern. And so our first theme is fighting disinformation using AI. First up, to talk about this and his project, Anton Tarasyuk from Ukraine. Mantis Analytics is his project.
Hello, my name is Anton Tarasyuk. I'm a founder of Mantis Analytics. We spot risks and secure growth with artificial intelligence. Mantis Analytics is a modern AI-powered real-time risk management platform, specifically designed for mid-sized businesses and enterprises. We were born in Ukraine during Russia-Ukraine war, and we were tried and tested in real life and death conditions. But before that, I worked in a consulting agency. And once we advised a client whom we understood could be targeted by Russian military if they advance. So we proposed an action: communicate and evacuate. It was a common sense advice, not really backed by hard data. So it was ignored, and nothing happened. But then, this happened. This client had experienced enormous amounts of losses. And for me, this was a lesson when I understood and felt that lack of data brings you decision vacuum. And decision vacuum means billions of dollars in losses. In today's world of interconnected risks, disregarding even one strategic risk is just too high, and it brings a domino effect. And nearly 50% of companies still rely on spreadsheets for risk management. Luckily, businesses are waking up, so more strategic risk decisions, more investments in risk tech, and more risk work is anticipated in upcoming years. Also, regulators are pushing. So now is the perfect time to transition from old-school risk management to proactive strategic resilience and to use it as a driver for business growth. This is what Mantis Analytics is all about. We provide you real-time risk assessment with the power of AI, 24/7 situation awareness and asset monitoring, rapid crisis alerts, and we aid your compliance efforts. We are talking about $150 billion market for risk management here, with $13 billion for situation awareness for mid-sized businesses ready to be addressed. With such a massive market, with such a right timing, and with our experiential advantage, we are set up to become a $1 billion company. We have been operating for a year right now, which is a warm-up for a B2B startup, but we already got our first revenue, secured 4 commercial contracts, and negotiate more. Mantis Analytics attracted the most powerful team in Eastern Europe. These are the words of the Minister of Digital Transformation of Ukraine, and he knows what he is talking about. But we are at the Democracy Summit today, and if this war has taught us anything, it taught us that democracies are fragile. If we cannot protect our assets, our bodies, we cannot protect democracy. Right now, as I'm pitching here from stage, Mantis Analytics helps the security team of one of the major cities in Ukraine to monitor the security situation and to react as fast as possible. We are raising a safe round. We will be happy to speak with investors interested in what we do. Thank you for your attention. We are Mantis Analytics. We spot risks and secure growth with artificial intelligence.
Thank you, Anton. This is very interesting, and I think it's a great point, moving from risk management to strategic resilience. I'm curious if you could tell us where you get your data sources from, how you sort of blend those together to provide this real-time analysis, and if there are any concerns around potentially proprietary data or classified or confidential information going into your models.
Okay, basically we combine two data sources. We bring internal companies' data to understand what's happening with their assets, and it is of course like NDA protected and all. We also enrich it via OSINT because we monitor social media, we monitor police reports, we monitor security situation, and we provide them with the context so they see what's happening with their asset and what is happening around its asset, which is brought by open sources.
Nima.
Great, thank you so much. I'm wondering who are the people who are actually using the solution? You mentioned that a city is using it to monitor their assets, but you're also talking about private companies and their information. Could you speak more to your customers?
If we talk about private companies, these are usually risk management departments or security departments who are interested in, for example, like asset status, who are interested in travel safety, and who are interested in what's happening overseas with their assets.
Anton, Tarasyuk, thanks so much. Appreciate it. And coming next to the stage, Dmitry Bilash from Ukraine, Oswald is his project.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here. My name is Dmitry Bilash. I'm co-founder in Oswald. And in Oswald, we develop AI-powered technologies to combat disinformation and information operations. Oswald emerged as a response to the Russian invasion. And today, we are operational in the European Union, in the United States, and we are the key technology used by Ukraine to combat Russian disinformation. And during the last 2 years, we learned one key lesson. You can be protected from disinformation only if all your neighbors are protected as well. It's a collective task and joint responsibility. And collaboration here, it's a big problem. I will give you one example. Let's say I'm an analyst from Denmark, and I'm revealed a new disinformation attack on Ukraine. I want to share information about this attack with my Ukrainian colleagues. Unfortunately, there is no streamlined, clear, straightforward way to pass this secure intelligence in easy and convenient way. And it's about to change. There are approaches and frameworks that will help you to do this. This is how it should work. Let's say you are government and you are attacked. So then, typically the government runs an investigation to better understand who, how, and in which way did this attack. The investigation results should be packed in a specific threat exchange file. So this is kind of an intelligence report, but it's created in a standardized way. So all your partners all over the world will be able to unpack this intelligence and improve their own security. So your intelligence will improve the defense of all others. NATO, European Union, and many other players support various initiatives and frameworks like Disarm framework or STIX to help tackle this. We as a tech company take the best practices and create a world-class analytical system based on them. Here is how our product works. As a first step, we do the data collection from open sources like social media, websites, messaging apps, videos, and so on. Then we equip the analyst in a governmental security agency or in a private company with analytical tools to run their investigations and reveal threats. Once the threat is revealed and investigation is done, our AI automatically creates this threat exchange file so it can be shared with your partners in other government bodies in the country, with your foreign colleagues, with your private companies, NGOs, academia, and so on. As a result, Oswald provides a comprehensive operational system for the information security to reveal, analyze, combat information threats, but also to share this and collaborate and make our world secure together. I'm here mainly to find colleagues, partners, and clients. So if you work for the government or for any entity who is taking care of information security, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for the attention. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it was an impressive explanation of your system, and you are an experienced entrepreneur. So I read about your Growth Captain company. So how did you use those learnings in your new company?
Yeah, so just give a bit more context, like I'm a second-time entrepreneur. So I came from the business, we sold our previous company to public traded corporate, and right now we do stuff with the government as our mission. So in the first company, we were doing also dealing with open source data. So we were dealing with, advertising, marketing, open source information. And we're dealing with the same data here, but for the security purposes. That's why we're able to, jump really fast in this problem and help our colleagues in Ukraine at the very crucial time. There was no learning curve. We just did it, and that's how we started.
And then just one additional question. So Growth Captain is still a good company, is still around?
I'm not in the company anymore.
I know.
But it has office in Ukraine.
Yeah.
We converted it to an AI Excellence Center, and till now it's operational. It has employees, it pays salaries, taxes, and great products.
Good. Thank you.
Nick.
Dmitry, thank you very much. This is very interesting, and I think my question is perhaps a basic one, but I'm curious to know why you think that your product is better than anything that national cybersecurity agencies or intelligence agencies could do. Why would a government want to contract your services when they spend, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars on homegrown services to do something very similar?
The reality how market works, we are not competing with them. We are helping them. They always look for the technologies that will be able to improve the efficiency in the government or security services. So basically, they are our clients, not competitors. We are in a constant communication, asking what they need, how we may help, and we create everything what we created is based on the requests of the people who actually fight this information every day. So our goal is to know what they need, create it, and then offer it on a better price and better terms. They just typically like it. So,
Dmitry, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now from Georgia, Miriam Akalkatsi, Gender Barometer.
You probably know this, women. What you might not know is the disturbing trend of digitally manipulated images and videos circulating online trying to undermine them. Today, I stand before you to shed a light on a global issue facing women in politics: sexist rhetoric and gendered disinformation, discouraging us from engaging in democracy. I'm Mariam, representing MDF, Media Development Foundation in Georgia, and in 2023 alone, we identified more than 5,600 cases of sexist rhetoric and gender disinformation targeting politicians, activists, and journalists in my country alone. And this is not just a local issue. When we look at international numbers, more than 81% of women, female parliamentarians, have encountered psychological violence. I'm here to introduce our solution, Gender Barometer, an AI chatbot, first of its kind in Georgian language, that will help women in real time when they encounter online harassment or are targets of gender disinformation. And let me take you through 3 steps of how it works. If you, for example, as a female politician are faced with manipulated videos or experiencing manipulated videos or photos, you can use the chatbot to help you verify that the content is fake, so you don't stand alone with your claim. And you can do the same thing if you're just a regular internet user, of course. On the screen, we see a real example of how Russian media tried to disseminate manipulated photos of German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock. Second step is that it generates fact-based responses, and we're training it to generate responses on behalf of women, so it can also support in that regard. And lastly, it provides in-depth information of how it is fact-checking and where is it getting all this information from, if you ask. Behind me is a team of more than 10 years experience monitoring hate speech, as well as 4 years of experience specifically fact-checking gender disinformation. We are training the model on the databases we have, but also our partners, United Nations AI monitoring tool, eMonitor Plus. And speaking of partners, we of course need your support. We're looking for $5,000 funding to fully develop the tool for the upcoming parliamentary election in Georgia this fall, which will be crucial for my country. We're also looking for international partners, influential women like many of you, as well as like-minded organizations. We know that our work is already helping people. There are thousands of protesters in the streets of Tbilisi right now defending democracy, and we're asking you to support us so we can increase our impact with tech. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation and your work. I'm wondering, you mentioned that this is for Georgia now. If you were to go into a different country, how much work is it for you to localize the software to a different geographic localization?
The thing is, the methodology won't change. And I mentioned we have partnered with United Nations. They already developed a tool which is also AI-powered called eMonitor Plus. So that will help us get more databases from different countries to also develop the tool in English so it can be accessible for other women worldwide.
Jorn.
Thank you so much. I think you have a solid plan, and I'm impressed with the progress and also how far you can, stretch the funding. I think that's very reasonable. So this morning I learned that what you can do in fact-checking is to involve all the users. So can you elaborate if it's something you do in your tool?
Yes, so what I couldn't fit in my 3-minute presentation is that my organization has its own fact-checking platform, Detector, that is a part of international fact-checking networking team. And we're also partnering with Meta to reduce distribution of disinformation online on Facebook and Meta platforms. So it is already in motion, but in terms of users' involvement, it will learn from the users as well while they are using it, so it can be better prepared for the future, if that makes sense.
Miriam, thank you so much.
Yep.
And we're now going to move on to our second theme, innovation in the super election year. George Gogua from Georgia, because I'm going to say it right. Zavnili.
Yes.
I've got it. Great.
I'm nervous here because as I'm standing here, my friends, my colleagues, and my compatriots are fighting for democracy in the streets of Tbilisi, right here, right now. My name is Georgi Gogua. I'm a co-founder, I'm a journalist of Project 64, which is a small startup media company full of outstanding journalists and creatives who are trying to make journalism cool again, which is really hard to do in Georgia as a huge propaganda machine is working against you. When the government has the messages that are trying to blur the lines between truth and lies between friends and between enemies. And one of the best examples of that was the government's attempt to adopt this so-called law about foreign influence last year, the first attempt, when they were basically labeling NGOs, CSOs, and independent media companies as foreign agents, and to translate that into Georgian language, that means foreign spies. And in this situation, as the process was ongoing and there was huge propaganda campaign going on, we journalists at Project 64 did what the journalists would do. We started working and monitoring and studying those speeches. And we found patterns, repetitive words, keywords, and as we analyzed them and we grouped them into categories, we found out that those messages were carefully crafted to divide the society, to seed fear, and as a result, to eliminate all the critical voices in Georgia. And this work led to this demo website we call Zavnili, called meaning message in Georgian, and it serves to visualize political messages and uncover hidden meanings behind them. And last year the law was evoked thanks to our young generation of Georgia who fought for freedom tirelessly. But this year the law is back, and as for yesterday, me and my colleagues are announced by the Parliament of Georgia as foreign agents already. There's still huge work to do before the elections in October, and we believe that this is a crucial time for Georgian journalism. And for this particular project, we seek for your support to update our website, integrate new technology in it, but on a broader perspective, this is a time for the democratic world to recognize that independent journalism in Georgia needs your support. Because the war has many faces, and right now one of the battlegrounds is in Georgia. We have to see that. I'm going to end this presentation with the words from our national anthem, Pideba Tausuplebas, Glory to Liberty. Thank you.
George, Nick has a question for you.
Georgi, thank you very much, and I know for all of the Georgians on this stage, this is a very difficult day, so I appreciate you all taking the time to be here with us and share this. I'm curious, particularly in the context of the bill that was passed and all of the demonstrations in response, what kind of engagement have you had already with this product, and what do you expect that engagement to be moving forward, looking ahead to the parliamentary elections? What sort of impact do you hope or expect your product to have in this context?
So we never launched this product on public because we believed that it needed so much work to do in terms of methodology, and you have to know that this project was done pro bono with help from our friends in a really short time, and we were actually trying to make it perfect in terms of methodology and to make sure there was no bias in there and we were true with ourselves. So far it hasn't been public, and our work is basically doing multimedia journalists all around the social media, and we're going to support this project with different other parts of our journalism work when we continue building this website again.
Nima.
Thank you so much. Two small questions. The first is, you mentioned that you want to implement some technology into the platform after this. Well, I'm curious to hear what that is. But then also in a bigger context, we're a bunch of people who are not from Georgia. What can we do actually to support you in this time?
So first thing is this speech-to-text AI technology in Georgia, which basically will make it easier for the researchers to analyze the speeches, official statements of the government and their allies, and this basically makes the job easier because that's a huge work to sit down and listen to all those hours and hours. What the society can do to support to journalism? That's a big question. One thing I can say is that I can talk about resources, I can talk about everything else, but in this case, we have to recognize the crucial and vital situation in Georgia which is going on, especially in the coming years before the elections. And journalists are being attacked. They're being discredited. Physically attacked, They're being labeled. Their cars being destroyed. This is going on live in Georgia. I know here are people who have even more problems, but we are part of the world where we want to have democracy. And independent journalism and safety of journalists is the crucial part of that. This is the thing. And in this case, only thing I can say is that we have to talk about this as more as possible and to know what is going on there in this small country in the middle of Caucasus. That's it.
Up next is Toklikishvili from Georgia. VINICI is the name of her project.
March 2023, Georgia, the law on foreign agents is first introduced. Due to massive protests, government drops the law and promises not to bring it back. A year later, the promise is broken. The law is back. People are coming in the streets again. And what happens is that just yesterday, the government labels all of us as agents of foreign influence, and it starts fighting against its own people. In light of ongoing political situation, elections has never been so crucial as in October this year. But there is a big question, who to vote for? And this is the case in the super election year. This is a big question not only for Georgia, but all over the world. 50% of the world's voting population can make a difference this year. I'm Anna, co-founder of VINICI. We believe that informed voters decide elections. We want to increase voter turnout in elections, and we help citizens get to know the politicians and make informed choices in elections. We all know that last-minute decisions of undecided voters decide elections, and in Georgia this number is 60%. In political polarization, disinformation and propaganda, undecided voters seek clarity in political positions. Voters want to hear clear stances on specific issues. And if they don't get what they need, and if they don't understand politicians, they may vote blank or not vote at all. So what we offer is a fact-based and easily digestible profiles of politicians and parties, showing their background, finances, stances on issues, and endorsements. We use speech-to-text technology and large language models to train AI on unbiased political data. And unbiased political data is original speeches, live broadcasts, official statements, and other public information. Our key feature is the rhetoric timeline, showing changes in stances of politicians over time. And here you can see the change in stances compared to last year to this year related to the law on foreign agents and foreign influence. The grant funding will help us launch the platform, while recurring subscribers will help us grow and reach millions of citizens who are voting. Our team is diverse, democracy enthusiasts, with rich expertise in communications, data science, product development, and startup development. All started with winning Democracy Tech Hackathon in Tbilisi in November, and since then we have been working on developing the platform. Currently, we're seeking 85,000 euros to make sure that the platform is launched before elections later this year and further develop in the upcoming months. Stand with us. This is the last chance for Georgia in democracy, for the democracy in Georgia to thrive. Together we can make a difference. Together we can save democracy in Georgia and beyond. Thank you.
That's your questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So can you give an example of what a politician typically will do to, get elected, saying certain things, and then after doing other things?
Actually, our monitor, or what we do is we try to give the picture what has been the promise and what is the action. And our platform is about analyzing promises, actions, and every word every word the politicians have ever uttered on the record, because it's about original speeches and live broadcasts. And people can see, comparing the stances that we do by the analysis, people can see themselves what has been the changes and what has been the promises, what is the truth that is coming.
Nick?
Yeah, Anna, thank you very much. I think tools like these are important for democracies around the world, even and including mature democracies like the United States. I have two questions, hopefully quick. The first one, politicians make speeches all the time. That's most of their job. How do you choose what information to display and what information not to display, and how do you communicate to the user that there's more information and more data that's gone into the interface that they're interacting with. And the second, just in the context of the elections coming up this fall, what's your plan to actually market this product to the Georgian people, particularly in the context of the bill that was passed yesterday?
Starting from the first question, we gather the information. We gather actually the big data, which is the YouTube, and also we record this. We're recording the streams of the live broadcasts. And you're right that politicians are making a lot of speeches, but sometimes their statements are replicated. That's one, and we're filtering it down by the texts that we do by speech-to-text technology, which is one of its kind that has been developed by our team member in Georgian language. And then we filter down the similar text through the text itself, and that's one thing. And another thing that they are not making exact messages most often in live broadcasts, because there are many things that they did not intend to say, but they still say when they're aired live, and that is one of the most important parts of our in the focus of our analysis.
And there was a second question.
Yeah, there is a second question on the elections. How we're going to market it. What we have now, we have prototype. We're working on MVP, even not getting the funding. We will continue as working at pro bono as we have been doing until now. But as for the marketing, we're going to have extensive digital social media campaign to bring it to the people. And now whoever is sending outside, they have questions. What is the alternative? Who are those people? And we believe that they are ready to observe and to get that information and to learn and to get informed and prepare for elections.
Anna, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Please let me introduce Ariadna Dron from Moldova, Marmoris.
One human right we all have is freedom of choice. But unfortunately, even the most fundamental of rights can be exploited through fraud and corruption. And the electoral process is no exception. In the 2016 presidentials in the Republic of Moldova, there were counted 400,000 more ballots than actual citizens. At that time, it meant 13% of the country's population, a number which completely overturned the elections. On a large scale, the conventional voting method welcomes human error, corruption, and fraud, while going fully electronic would scare away the elderly population, who made up a good 47% in the 2020 presidentials in Moldova. In reality, developing countries must upgrade their electoral systems, but they cannot afford neither the high prices nor the loss of voters' trust by going fully digital. I am Ariadna, CEO of Marmoris, which brings to you Evervote, a device that aims to change the electoral system by combining the convenience of traditional voting with the transparency and reliability of a machine for the best price on the market. As for how the device actually works, after the voter inserts the ballot into the box, Evervote automatically scans the ballot for its content, then counts, sorts, and displays the results in real time via a dashboard. No need for manual counting, no way of interfering with the ballots, no way of committing electoral fraud. It is that simple. Besides state elections, Evervote is designed for any company, government body, NGO, school, or any entity that relies on ballot voting and wants to ensure transparent and democratic management. As for our business model, we have 4 offers. The device is to be sold independently for $250 for smaller entities, and the advanced version, especially designed for national elections, that is developed in size, security, and customizability for $1,500 a unit. Moreover, we will sell customizable ballots and provide the system as a service. In this case, price will be accustomed. Evervote is transparent, scalable, efficient, and the most affordable device on the voting system market, costing 80% cheaper than the average hybrid voting system. With a total market estimated to value $1.2 billion by 2030, Evervote is an intelligent investment for any entity. Marmoris is a company started by 4 ambitious young entrepreneurs who want to make the world better by designing simple solutions for big problems. And we have indeed come a long way since starting our journey. From winning the Democracy Tech Hackathon to having our device pilot tested at a youth NGO election to having a functional device ready for any small-scale elections. In the future, we plan on creating an app that makes it easier for organizers to control and personalize their voting processes. We are looking for hardware and software developing and manufacturing partners to help us take our device from a prototype to a scalable and certified device ready for market. With your help, we can become eligible to organize national elections, a significant milestone for us and a testament for the impact of our product. Ever vote when results matter.
Nima, go ahead.
Thank you so much for your presentation. You mentioned that it's cheaper than the alternatives. Could you just speak a little bit more about what other options that are out there and why yours is a cheaper solution?
So around the market, we are very aware of the legacy companies that have been working in this market since the 70s. But the fact that we are cheaper, it's basically in why and the method that our device works. Because in the usual market, the usual prototypes, the usual products, usually scan 10,000 ballots all at once after a normal election. Through our device, Evervote, we scan each device independently, achieving the security and also not tampering with the pace of the election, thus making it much easier to produce and much cheaper.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think you have a textbook business plan and presentation, very crisp, very well done. My question would be that you're very young and the past months you have been through some masterclasses with some of us. Has there been anything we could teach you or anything you could learn from that?
Indeed, we are young and we need help right now. We are a bunch of high school students and we have a lot to learn. To respond to your question, we need training and development in our device itself and also knowledge on how to market it and address our customers.
Thank you to the Marmoris team. To deliberate over the awards, and you get to play your part too on the People's Award. Joining us now on stage is Preben Toron from Trifork, who's going to explain how this voting works. Do you need this? You've got one.
Thank you. Yes, it's time to place the People's Award votes, and that means this is you, the audience. So what we will kindly ask you to do is to find your phones, open the conference app, navigate, find the schedule, the daily schedule. Please ensure you're on the right day. Please find the schedule and please navigate to the current session here. It can look a little bit different depending on your phones and screen sizes. Please navigate to the session and please don't panic. There will be a couple of minutes to do so. Once we are here, this is the only tricky part. So please press the title of the session. Do not feel tempted to press on any of the speakers. Please press the title of the session. This will lead you to a page with the session details, and that's actually all you have to do, because in a few seconds, I will ask my colleague Rafa to activate the voting, which will place a little gray notification at the bottom of the screen. And all you have to do is to click on that to get to the place where you can place your vote. So, Rafa, if you're ready, please activate the voting. And this is my clue to hand over the stage to our host again. The audience, please place your votes. Thank you.
Thank you. You can take that one back. And while you and the judges are deliberating, let me introduce to the stage a People's Award winner from last year, Victor Nestulia. He is leading the DREAM project in Ukraine. He's working closely with the government, business, and civil society to make sure Ukraine's reconstruction is a role model of open government and open transparency. Victor, over to you.
Thank you. Voting is important, and last year DREAM project was honored to win People's Award. And we worked hard to justify your trust and deliver on our promises. And we have lots of things to share. But unfortunately, Russian war is not over. We are far away from our victory, and while planning our transparent, accountable, and inclusive reconstruction, Russians learned how to avoid sanctions to produce long-range missiles. They continue to destroy our civilian infrastructure. Right after last year's summit, Russians conducted yet another act of ecocide. They blew up Kakhovka Dam, flooding hundreds of villages and cities, destroying home and nature. Today, they continue to destroy our energy-generating facilities, and even now, all over Ukraine, we have blackouts. Despite the positive decision to provide Ukraine with F-16 fighter jets and air defense, we don't have enough. And Russia continues to destroy our infrastructure. They are launching thousands of gliding bombs targeting people and our houses. Today, more than 2 million Ukrainians left without home, physically. They were destroyed by Russians. Yes, the democratic world is united, but not decisive enough to ensure our victory. We will stand with Ukraine as long as it takes, but how many lives and destinies will it take? These have been challenging times for Ukraine. But you recognized an essential truth then. Russia is trying to erase Ukrainian identity and make our country unlivable. You recognize that every act of recovery and reconstruction is an act of defiance. Restoration of Ukraine is about resilience. We now work to sustain Ukrainian economy, to sustain the will to fight and win the war. Like Proster, small cafe in Kherson that became a point of invincibility for local citizens, for journalists and volunteers, where they can power up their phone and warm up with coffee. Every day, Ukrainians go to work, open new enterprises, and continue to work even after Russians' missile attack. We have thousands of cases like this. But we also have much larger projects, like 150 kilometers of water pipeline that was constructed amazingly fast to ensure access to clear drinking water to 2 million people. We have to be fast. If your school is destroyed, do you build a new one? Or do you buy buses to bring children to a neighboring school that was not yet damaged? Or do you literally transfer an education process to an underground metro station like Kharkiv city does? We have to make thousands of decisions like that to keep Ukrainian economy functioning for its citizens. And we have to make it fast. And Ukraine is doing well on this road. One piece of transparent reconstruction puzzle is e-recovery program. Imagine every Ukrainian who lost their homes can now submit and request using mobile phone, government and smartphone application DIA, and through a set of registries it's automatically verified and Ukrainians receive a certificate to buy a new house or pay for repairs. Through a set of digital controls, we can be sure that money are spent properly, supporting Ukrainians in needs and Ukrainian businesses. In less than a year, this program helped to support 60,000 Ukrainians, and now they are back to their homes. What important, it was very fast. We have to find radically new approaches to be resilient and prepare for a post-war reconstruction. Transparent fixation of damages and needs, development of strategies, preparation of projects, prioritization, funding allocation, procurement, construction progress with quality assurance, and tracking of every payment. Most of these components are already integrated in DREAM. Today, more than 70% of local communities in Ukraine are already registered in DREAM. Altogether, they submitted more than 4,000 reconstruction projects worth more than 4 billion euros. More than 1 billion euros is already covered, and thanks to DREAM, we can track the whole cycle from problem statement to commissioning in an open and transparent way. DREAM covers all sectors: housing, utilities, transport, healthcare. But let me stop on education so you better understand how DREAM works today. Ministry of Education set a goal to ensure access to safe and high-quality education to all children. Unfortunately, today in Ukraine, it is only possible if a school has a proper shelter, because there are dozens of air sirens every day, and hundreds of schools have already been destroyed by Russians. To make sure that children can have access to education, we have to ensure that every school has proper shelter that is suitable for education, that has underground classrooms, proper air ventilation, clear water, all the equipment needed. So Ministry of Education set up a funding program in DREAM, providing clear eligibility, qualification, and prioritization criteria that, by the way, were developed with help of artificial intelligence and Palantir technology, thanks to Alex Karp, who spoke last year at Democracy Summit. Once this program is set up, all users of DREAM, schools, communities, receive automatic notification and can submit their application for funding in a matter of several clicks, literally several clicks. We have one community that was able to submit funding application from train in less than 10 minutes. Ministry of Education receives all applications from local communities. DREAM checks them against prioritization and qualification criteria, speaking to more than 10 governmental registries and systems, and provide a clear list of prioritized schools to the Ministry of Education so they can help to make better and smarter decisions to allocate limited resources and make most cost-efficient decisions. So once it's done, we can track implementation with DREAM. DREAM integrates all procurement processes that are needed to implement this project. It integrates construction progress and every payments made. And with the help of open data and business intelligence, everyone in the world can track what's happening with a particular school, hospital, house, bridge, or any other infrastructure facility. Using business intelligence, you can conduct monitoring, you can conduct research, risk management in order to improve decision-making and efficiency of implementation. Today, there are lots of projects that are funded by international partners in DREAM system. US, European Union, Germany, Lithuania, Estonia, Denmark, of course, and also other international financial institutions. We provide access to data and information, but also a set of user-friendly tools for project selection and monitoring of implementation. So every taxpayer, including yourself, can track how every krone, pound, hryvnia, dollar, or euro spent for Ukrainian recovery. If we are able to support much faster decision-making using data, if we are able to enable local communities with genuine voice, we will be able to ensure our resilience and strengthen democracy even during these dark and challenging times. About a year ago, many people didn't believe that DREAM is possible. And unfortunately today, there are some people who believe that Ukrainian victory is impossible. But it always seems impossible until it's done. And we are proving it with Dream. So discover Dream, subscribe to Dream updates, and help Ukraine to make our dream come true. First, win the war, and then win the peace. Glory to Ukraine, and glory to our Georgian friends who now face challenges. We'll tackle them together.
And now let me invite our judges back to the stage. Come on out. So, it's award time.
Yes, it is.
And so the first award up is the Copenhagen Democracy Tech Award. Dron, the founder and CEO of Trifork, is the one who's going to announce our winner. Go for it.
Thank you so much. I think you did some really awesome presentations. And in the jury, we had a very tough time to choose one of the three. And all very crisp, all very good. Some very experienced, some new to building products and startups and fighting for democracy. But eventually we had to make a decision, and that was hard. So we finally decided on Anton with Mantis. So please come here.
Congratulations, that's great. You can go back over there. Unless you're going to come back for the next award, and I'm not sure. Nick Cohen is going to award the Super Election Year Award. Nick, of course, the director of the International Strategy Forum. Nick, the floor is yours.
Well, once again, we had an incredibly difficult time deciding. The jury was very much split. Three really amazing, fantastic products. All of which I think we agreed we could use in each of our home countries. So as soon as you figure out what you're doing in Georgia and Moldova, come to the United States. We'll welcome you with open arms. Ultimately, we decided on this product, and I'm going to keep you all in suspense for one moment while I explain why. As we all know, to defend a democracy, to support a democracy, to live and breathe democracy, we need to understand the politicians who we choose to represent us. We need to understand what they say, we need to understand what they do in private, and importantly, we need to understand how they change their positions and perspectives over time, sometimes for good, sometimes for not. So we are very pleased to announce the winner, Anna with VINICI.
Congratulations. And last but not least, the People's Award, the one you all voted for. Nima Tisdal, CEO and partner of Nordic Makers, is going to make this announcement. Nima?
Thank you. Yes, thank you guys for voting our own little version of a small democracy in this room. I have no idea why you know. You guys obviously already know why you voted for this team, and I really understand it, because the person who won the People's Choice Award came on stage and it was like an energy bomb that came here. They were oozing off. It was a solution that I think we could all understand, we could all see the potential of it, and the person here really just fired through. I think you guys, I guess that's why you voted for the person, is that you could feel their energy and their passion for this project all the way out in your seats. I know that we could up here, so we really, really understand why this project was chosen. I also want to say thank you to all of you guys, because you're all doing fantastic work. Without further ado, the People's Choice Awards this time is you, Ariadna from Marmoris. And guys, you obviously know how to win some hearts also in this election process, so maybe try Fork, wherever. You guys built the election software for today, right? Looks like you have a competitor.
Congratulations to you, and thank you to our audience for voting. Thank you to our wonderful judges. Thank you to all of our